Hi everybody, this is Kat Smith with the Bee, and if you're not aware of our program, it's our segment that we do. It's called Did You Know? And we like to take that moment to focus on local organizations, local businesses, local nonprofits around the Mohave County. So today we're going to talk about the Veterans Court that is offered now throughout Mohave County. Yes. And I have as my guest today is Judge Jeff Singer. So if Judge Jeff Singer, if you want to go ahead and explain what you do and your background and how you came to be the head of the Veterans Court here.
Sure. Again, my name is Jeff Singer. I've been the judge here at Kingman Municipal Court now for about 3 years. Prior to that, I was a judge in the state of Oklahoma for many years, and moved myself and my family out here to Arizona. People always wonder why from Oklahoma. Well, my family is all either in Arizona or Southern California, so it's been nice to be here and be close to family and everything like that. I sometimes miss Oklahoma, but it's nice to be here with family, and I sure don't miss Oklahoma during the winter weather and things like that, so it's very nice to be here.
So you traded the winter weather for the heat.
For the heat, yeah, exactly. And I'll take that trade any day of the week. So
that's sign. Let's sign that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Hey,
just moving the chair. We're going over.
So we may
We're
have
adjusting.
We're adjusting everything.
That's fine. Go on the fly here. But yeah, I've been the judge here for 3 years now, and when I first came to become the judge here at the Kingman Municipal Court, I replaced the prior judge who was judge for close to 30 years. And it's an honor to do that and serve the people of Kingman here. But one of the first priorities when I came and became judge was the mayor and the city council felt it was important. They wanted a veterans treatment court here in Kingman. Mm-hmm. There had already been one established in Lake Havasu prior to my arrival, and they had such overwhelming success in helping out the veterans and serving the community down there that it was a priority for the people here, the city council, the mayor, and everything, that they wanted one here at the Kingman Municipal Court. So after I became judge, about less than 6 months after, we got a veterans treatment court up and going here. It takes a lot of work and effort and energy to implement and everything. But yeah, exactly. But we finally got going in December of 2015, and so we've been in existence now for about a little over 2.5 years, and I think it's going really well. We followed Lake Havasu's lead. They have a very successful program there, and as a matter of fact, we have partnered up with them, and then we have a grant that we both utilize as kind of a joint regional veterans treatment court between the two cities. And so they have their court in Havasu, we have ours in Kingman, but we also share resources and everything for our veterans treatment court because, again, it's a rural community. You know, Mohave County is so spread out and everything, so it really helps best to serve the communities and serve the veterans. And also, recently, I know Bullhead City has started their veterans treatment court. I think they sort of followed the lead of Havasu and then Kingman, and now Bullhead has started theirs. So it's kind of just paying it forward and everything. But we're excited. I've been in the legal field for over 20 years, been a lawyer for over 20 years, and a judge for the majority of that time of my legal career. And there's nothing I'm more proud of than this veterans treatment court. It's our way of giving back to veterans. We think we're changing lives with the program. It's a way of giving back to our most treasured citizens who are, I believe, our veterans. And unfortunately, when the veterans come into the program, things have gone sort of sideways in their lives. They've gotten involved in the criminal justice system, and the goal of the program is to figure out why they've gotten into the criminal justice system to try to address any issues that they may have. I learned very quickly early on in this program, there's no cookie cutter veteran. It's not like every veteran has PTSD issues or every veteran has issues with the VA or things like that. It could be myriad. Some can have very minor issues, some can have the whole gamut. But we try to get these issues addressed all in the program, whether it be they have help with mental health counseling or PTSD or substance abuse issues. They need help with housing, employment, transportation, help with the VA, help with education. Whatever the issues are, we hope to get those addressed within the program. And it's a treatment court. So when the veterans in the program, they're having to go to counseling, they're having to do drug testing, substance abuse testing, random testing, And the program typically lasts, your average veterans in the program anywhere between, on average, between 7 to 18 months. And then hopefully they graduate from the program, and when they do, we hope they don't reoffend. These kind of treatment courts are popular throughout the country. You know, we've probably the models of drug courts and things. Veterans courts have only been around for about 10 years. And so they're kind of a new concept, but they're in the same model of drug courts. But the beauty of veterans treatment courts are the recidivism rates tend to be very low. With, you know, people who aren't in treatment courts, you know, recidivism rate, then reoffending tends to be very high. Other specialty court programs, the recidivism rates are lower than people who aren't in that kind of program, but still, I think veterans treatment courts have some of the best recidivism rates in the country. Luckily for us, none of our graduates, knock on wood, have reoffended. Lake Havasu has a bigger program than us, and up until recently, they had a 0% recidivism rate as well, but they've had a couple of setbacks, but still their recidivism rate is very low. And so, again, they have given so much for our country, it's our way of giving back. You know, when they get into this kind of program, a lot of the incentive is a lot of times their charges will be reduced or dismissed if they graduate from the program.
Okay.
So that's a lot of the incentive. That's the carrot in front at the end of the stick that a lot of times they see when they first come through. Oh, I can get my charges, you know, reduced or dismissed, great, or, you know. And so other people sometimes wonder, well, why veterans get the opportunity and other defendants? But, you know, these are municipal courts and everything. Typically, your average defendant's going to come before us, be able to plead in their case, and they'll be done, and we, you know, and they won't have to come back. The veterans who are involved in this program, it's a very intensive program. It's not easy. It's not like a handout. It's very challenging for them to get through the program. Again, they're having to come to court in the early stages twice a month. There's different phases of the program. They have to come twice a month and see me. They're doing random drug testing. They're doing counseling, and it's very regimented because they should be used to that being in the military. Kind of regimented exercises they have to go through. And then when they promote through the program, it can come less, and their testing may go down and everything. And eventually, at some point, they graduate from the program. And it's amazing when we hear the stories about how I believe we're changing lives. I mean, we've had veterans who told us who graduate from the program, you know, you saved my life. I don't think there's anything that can impact me more as a judge than when a veteran tells me that. You saved my life. I was just going down the wrong track, and you saved my life. I've now got a better connection with my family. I got a job, a house, whatever the situation may be. And when you can do that and help somebody out, it means all the world to you.
How many veterans have you have come into the court that you've since 2015, if you know of?
Yeah, I'd have to get the exact numbers. I mean, I've got a graduation board up there. We've graduated 8 so far. We've got a lot who are really on a good track right now, and so I anticipate within 12 months we're probably going to be doubling our graduation. We're going to be probably have 15, 16 graduates. By the way our numbers are looking here for the program by the time, I would say, a year from now.
So is that an average kind of say that you see about 15, 16, or 10?
Well, right now, in the program that we have right now, we have over 20 in the program right now. I have to get you the exact number, but it's anywhere between 20 to 25 that we have in the program right now. Obviously, it's something that grows. When we started the program December 2015, I had 2. And then it just grew, you know, it wasn't just this big flip, but we know there's going to be gradual progression and everything. Our sister court in Lake Havasu, they have over 70 in their program. So they deal with a bigger segment, bigger community down there and everything. So their numbers are probably always going to be higher than ours. But right now, like I said, we have between 20 and 25, and that's a pretty good clip because it takes a lot of work to monitor their cases, monitor the situation.
That's the highest number you've had.
We're at our peak right now, but we'll probably just keep growing and growing. That's how the nature of these programs, they just grow and grow and grow as word gets out and we expand the program. We've been able to not only take cases now from our court, but we've also been able, what we did, it's a unique situation. We were able, again, to team up with Lake Havasu and kind of, we call them like our sister court and everything there. We were also able to utilize what's been very beneficial for the veterans in Mohave County is we were awarded, it's called a SAMHSA grant. And it's a 3-year grant that about $900,000 grant between the 2 courts. We were the only court system last year in the state of Arizona to be awarded it, only one of 4 in the country. And I think it's because we have a unique, let me tell you, there's over 350 now veterans treatment courts in the country. It's really a type of especially court that's growing. Yes.
Right.
But our system is very unique. I think we're the only ones who do it this way, which are probably people in Mohave County probably be interested to know. Again, we're Mohave County. We're rural. We have resources that are very spread out and everything. I think one reason we were awarded this grant and to really help us is what we do is we combine our resources. We staff the cases with our veterans. We staff them together, Kingman and Lake Havasu, because we don't want to spread our resources too thin, and we don't want to be competing for similar resources. You know, a lot of these veterans, they have the same attorneys, they have the same counselors, they have the same company that does the drug testing, the same therapists, things like that. And so we don't want them to have to be too spread out, being, you know, Lake Havasu too many times and Kingman too many times, and then because that would just be a detriment to both programs. So the unique thing that we do, and again, I think it's unique to Mohave County and between Kingman and Lake Havasu, we staff our cases together by video. And so that way, the resources can be in one place, but can be covering two courts at the same time. Now, after that, then we'll go and hold our own individual court sessions. Havasu will hold theirs, and then they usually hold theirs the afternoon after staffing. Typically, ours is the following week after staffing, so that way people can still be here. But it's a way, we understand resources are limited in Mohave County, and so, but that's a way that we, you know, kind of team up and be able to serve different veterans. And the reason I bring this up, and the reason I'm proud of our expansion, is because of this grant. Prior, we were only able to take court cases out of Kingman Municipal Court. Again, I'm a city court, you know, I'm a decent sized court or whatever, but it always kind of was odd to me that a veteran who had a lot of needs and who could take advantage of this program, let's say they picked up a case, let's say they picked up a shoplifting or, you know, a DUI or something here in the city limits of Kingman. Mm-hmm. Now, the same veteran, if they did that out in Golden Valley, well, they may have the same needs and everything. Before this grant, they wouldn't be able to come into my program and get this treatment and everything. But because of this grant, we've been able to expand, and now we're accepting cases out of the Justice Court, so that now it's becoming more county-wide and everything. And Lake Havasu has been able to do it too. They're a consolidated court down there, but they're able to take cases in Lake Havasu City as well as post-adjudicated cases out in there at the county as well for them. And so it's been great because we've really been able to service more and more veterans, and that's the goal. I mean, is to be able to serve as many veterans as we can who can take advantage of this program, promote their sobriety, promote them, you know, being compliant with the criminal justice system, and again, be able to give back to them. Right.
Can you walk us through how the process is? So, say a veteran is just coming into your courtroom. Do they get transferred from a different court, or is it's just here?
Well, it's one of two ways. Like I said before, it's just Kingman Municipal, and then we start taking the cases from Kingman Justice. But I can tell you typically how the process is here at Kingman Municipal. I see about every defendant who comes in, and one of the first questions I ask them, whether it's at their initial appearance or arraignment, I get their name, their address, their phone number, date of birth. But I also ask every single one of them, have you ever served in the United States military? So we can identify veterans real quick.
And that's how you do it.
And that's how we do it. And then if they say yes, then we you know, I let them know about the program. You know, I don't make them commit on the spot. Oh, you're a veteran. You want to get in this veterans treatment court and commit, you know, 12, 18 months of your life. I don't do that. But at least I inform them of the program, inform them the options, the possibilities. And then if they seem interested, I give them the resources, the information about the program, and then let them talk it over with their attorney. And ultimately, it's on the pre-adjudicated cases here at Kingman Municipal, it'll be up to the prosecutor to decide if they're a good candidate for the program, because they're the ones who are going to be offering the plea offer. Yeah, I'm going to reduce or dismiss your charges if you complete this program. But now we've expanded it to post-adjudicated cases here at Kingman Municipal. Like, let's say they're a veteran who, you know, they're very pled and they've been in the system for a while, but they're just not doing their substance abuse counseling, where they're not paying their fines or things like that. We can also take them as well. And also we get referrals from the Justice Court, like I said. Typically they're going to be misdemeanors, because they're only going to be misdemeanors in my court, and typically they're going to be cases that are misdemeanors over the Justice Court. Exactly.
Low grade offenses, not anything higher that you see in a felony.
Right. We're not taking felonies. Correct.
Okay.
Right. We're not taking any felonies. And also, you know, we do background checks on them and look at criminal histories, and there's certain people we're just going to have to exclude, even if they're just charged with misdemeanors in this court based on prior history and things like that, unfortunately. But again, and another question people ask is, what veterans do you take? Do you just take ones that have, served in combat or non-combat? We take them both. And also people always wonder, do we take just ones who've been honorably discharged, or do we take ones that are less than honorable? We take all classifications. If you've been honorably discharged or less than honorable or dishonorable, we will still take you in the program, because odds are, if you didn't honorably discharge from the service, there's probably other issues that were going on why you didn't do that have come over into the civilian world, and as you've gotten into the criminal justice system here. So again, we still appreciate that they've served and everything. As long as they got through boot camp and served, then we will take them if everything, all the other boxes are checked, and we can take them into the program. So.
And again, I know there was a question from Sharon Peterson about when the program started, and it was December of 2015.
Yes.
And since then,
here in Kingman, Havasu started before that, right?
And Havasu, so they're sisters. They're sister courts.
Correct. Yes.
So they've joined, and now you have a grant that is going to contribute a lot to helping. It
contributes a lot. It really helps us to expand our services. Like I said, bringing in the cases now from Justice Court, as well as help with other things, like help with. A lot of these veterans have transportation issues. This helps help them get like bus passes and things like that. Help pay for their testing, their drug testing, substance abuse testing,
and
a lot of things.
There's a lot of failure to appear warrants that happen when a defendant cannot get up here.
Yes.
So
right.
That's good that they're offering these assistance.
Right, because we're going to require, you got to go counseling once a week, you got to do your testing. You never know when you're going to have to do your testing. It's all random. But someone, if they have limited transportation, how could we expect them to do that? So that way, because of this grant, it's really helpful to utilize these other services to help us to get like bus passes for them and things like that. So that way they can be compliant in our program.
Okay. And the eligibility that the veterans have to meet, is there certain criteria? I know that you were talking about that they had to be minor offenses. They did have to at least pass, go through the boot camp.
Yeah, they had
it doesn't
to
matter if
graduate from boot camp
or non-active. So,
yeah.
What other eligibility requirements to be assigned to your court, your program, do they have to meet? Again,
they have to finish boot camp at least. They can be combat, non-combat. Their discharge status, honorable, less than honorable, dishonorable, doesn't matter. We'll take them. And then, again, based on the nature of the offense is typically what we're going to do to determine if they're going to get into the program. Somebody who, just because they're a veteran and they have, a docket large citation, if there's no other lingering issues, odds are being in such an intensive treatment program is probably not going to work. It just doesn't make any sense. But, sometimes people who, get like a shoplifting, and you may not see other issues that go along with that. Somebody gets shoplifting, you may not know that's because they have serious, substance abuse issues that they're trying to address, or that's because they're homeless, or whatever the situation may be. Just because you see an initial charge doesn't mean you're seeing the whole picture. So we try to be open-minded about these things, but again, it's got to be a case, a misdemeanor, either through this court or through the Justice Court to come into our program. And again, there's a background check that's done on them and everything. And we would, if they have serious issues even from their past or whatever, that could possibly exclude them from the program.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I like if somebody's like a convicted sex offender or something like that. There's just going to be limits about how we can take them into our program.
Okay.
So.
And you're expecting about 20, you said 25 graduating this year? Or no, sorry, next year?
We right now, like I said, it's between 20 and 25 in the program. The number's always in flux. I anticipate, like I said, I've had 8 graduates so far, and I would say by this time next year we'll be double. We have a board up there that we're proud of our graduates. It's called our Wall of Honor, and if I had to predict, I would say if you came back here next year and looked at that board, I'll bet you'll be double. Right now it's at 8. I'll bet you we have at least 15, 16 graduates by then. So we're really proud of that.
And that's wonderful, because now you're starting the word's getting out. The program is seeing an increase. It's helping a lot of the individuals coming in that are needing the help, and you're offering it.
And I'll tell you, people, and I don't mind sharing this story, people always ask me about my motivation for this program. I'm not a veteran myself. People ask a lot, am I a veteran? No. My dad's a veteran. He served in the Air Force, and but I'm not a veteran myself. But people wonder, what's your drive, your motivation? Because I'm really enthusiastic about this program, and I'll share a story that I don't mind sharing with others. Is that in the early 2000s, my brother he previously served in the Marine Corps. And he got out of the service, and when people get out of the service, they got that structure and organization, camaraderie with their fellow, soldiers and battle buddies and things like that. Is what direction do you go in life? And while go on, be successful, go to college or whatever, and start businesses. Others, unfortunately, don't have that, and they go by the wayside. And unfortunately, my brother got involved with drugs, and he got involved with the criminal justice system in southern Arizona and everything. And unfortunately, we didn't have veterans treatment courts back then. Again, the first veterans treatment court started in 2008 in Buffalo, New York, and they just sort of progressed and everything like that. But we didn't have veterans treatment courts back then. And it's a shame because, he had these kind of offenses that a veterans treatment court really, I think, could have helped him out. And unfortunately, one day, like I said, many years ago, before veterans treatment courts even existed, his body was found in a park down by Tucson with the needle was still in his arm, and he'd overdosed on drugs and passed away. So my motivation for this program is I can't do anything about my brother. It's sad and unfortunate, whatever. I can't save my brother, but there's other veterans I can save. And that is what really motivates me and pushes me in this program. And what, every day where I say, I can't do anything for my brother, but there's other veterans that I know this program can really help and save lives.
Right, and as you said, that wall right there, that's showing your progression, and that's showing that you are making a change in each of those individuals' lives. Yeah,
and we're trying, and people wonder, well, how can I get involved with the Veterans Treatment Court and everything? And here's the thing that I like to tell them is that, well, sometimes we have veterans that say, how can I be a part of this program? And so what I tell them is, well, if you don't have criminal charges, what I need you to do is I'll need you to go up across the street to the Circle K and go shoplift something, and then that way I can get you in the program. And I'm kidding, obviously. So, but no, yeah.
The judge is not telling you to shoplift so you can come into his courtroom.
That's a joke. There's different ways. People who have the needs. And the neat thing is that as we've been able to build this program and we've seen all these resources that have come together, we have a veterans resource team group that meets once a month, and they get together and talk about and network about all the different resources to help the veterans in different ways, because we just really didn't have that in this community. And so even if a veteran has needs that they need help with housing, or they need help with transportation, or counseling, like we have a vet center here locally in town, we can steer them in the right direction without them having to be put into the program and everything. So we can get them there if they have those specific needs. There's other veterans who come and they don't have needs or anything. They just want to help out the program. And so one way they can do that is with our mentoring program. We have a mentoring program in our Veterans Treatment Court that I'm very, very proud of. I think we have more mentors than we have participants in the program. That just tells you how proud we are. That's a nice luxury we have. Not all Veterans Treatment Courts have that. There's a lot of Veterans Treatment Courts when we go to conferences, and I share that. They're very envious of us. We have a very strong program. We've got good leadership. We have a mentor coordinator, assistant mentor coordinator who do a great job of recruiting and educating and things like that. And so in order to be a mentor, you have to be a veteran.
Okay.
And we do a background check on you, and you have to commit. And what the mentors do is they're battle buddies or allies for the participants in the program. Every participant in my program has a mentor. And what they do is when we have court proceedings, the mentor stands right up there with them, next to their attorney on one side and their mentor on the other side. And that way, if I'm telling them good things, like you're doing a great job and here's some rewards and things like that, that's great. But if I have to sanction them, if I just tell them, oh, you haven't done so well, I'm going to have to give you community service hours or write essays, or I'm going to have to put you in jail for 24, 48 hours, regardless of the information I have to convey to the veteran who's standing before me, they've got their mentor there with them. And it's a neat way of support and everything. And the mentors, they meet with their fellow participants, when they're outside the court, and I think they have a cup of coffee together, or the relationships are different.
Like AA has sponsors,
right?
you have battle buddies.
So I have mentors. It's very similar.
Or
Yeah. And then we call them, they're battle buddies. They're allies in the program. So it's kind of neat, because again, a lot of those relationships, even with our graduates, go on beyond the courthouse and everything, and they have a lifelong friendship. We try to match people up as best we can with people who we think they're going to be successful with and everything. And that way, if they're struggling while in their program, they've got that person there. Of course, typically they have a lawyer and we have a program coordinator who's very helpful and supportive, but they also have that mentor who they can turn to, in the middle of the night if they've got an issue or they want to talk about things, or again, just have somebody they want to vent to or things like that. And I'm very appreciative of our mentors. They're volunteers, fellow veterans, want to give back. And so we're always looking for good mentors, and it's really been successful. When we first started the program, we didn't have a mentor aspect. We need to grow that, and it's really been such a strong influence on our program to help our program thrive.
Now, are those same services available to all the locations? So like down in Bullhead City, do they have that mentor program?
Yeah, Bullhead City has a mentor program.
And they're still needing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. They're always looking for, you're never going to have too many mentors. Right. So Bullhead City, with their Veterans Treatment Court, they have a mentor component, as well as like Havasu does as well. So I know all three courts are always looking for mentors, because again, they're kind of like the secret sauce to the program. They're kind of the glue that helps keep it together, and especially in the early phases when the veterans come to the program, sometimes they get frustrated or aggravated because just coming into a program and signing a contract, that doesn't cure years and years of substance abuse and everything. And so sometimes there's going to be struggles and everything, and sometimes they may think, well, I don't know if this is worth it, having to test and go to counseling and therapy and all these things. But again, have that mentor there to support them and tell them, look, there's going to be light at the end of the road here, and just to get through this and be supportive and positive influence, it means all the world.
Wonderful. And they can come down to the courthouse here on 4th Street to sign that application?
Yeah, to be a mentor, they can come for our court here in Kingman. Yeah, again, our program coordinator, if they want to come to the courthouse, she can get them in touch with our mentor coordinator, and we do regular trainings. As a matter of fact, we just did a training yesterday afternoon to bring in some more mentors, and we're always looking for them. So we just believe that these kind of treatment courts or whatever, the mentor aspect, really, the studies have all shown that if you have a strong mentor component to it, your participants are going to be so much more successful.
Okay. So if you want to volunteer as a mentor, as he also referred it to battle buddies, which I really like, you can just come down to the Kingman Municipal Court, and it's at 219 4th Street in Kingman. Now, if you reside in Lake Havasu or if you reside in Bullhead City, you can go out to their municipal courts and ask for where you can sign up to help one of the veterans that's in the court program at either location down there.
And also, if you're not a veteran and you're interested in helping veterans out too, like I said, another aspect I alluded to previously is our Veterans Resource Team. Right. We hold a luncheon here at the courthouse once a month, and that way, a lot of different organizations, whether they're veteran-oriented or not, can talk about different resources and everything that are available and how they can help, not just veterans in my program, but veterans in the community as a whole. So that's what I really like about that, because like I said previously, you had this organization want to help veterans, this organization want to help veterans, but they just weren't really, connecting. And so that way we kind of network and share information and share resources. That way we're better serving the veterans in the community, regardless if they're in the Veterans Treatment Courts or not.
Wonderful. Well, Judge Singer, I appreciate you sitting down with me today and letting the community know about your Veterans Court program and the succession that it's had, and that you're going to continue straight on and make sure that the veterans are taken care of.
Thank you very much, and thank you all for everybody's support. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.